success on the Challenger Tour last season, and to step out into the big time as he's done so in the last week or so has been hugely impressive. It is still all to play for these two nations as they try and get through to the final of the United Cup.
Tennis fans, it is time for the mixed doubles as we welcome back to the court this team representing Switzerland, Belinda Bencic and Jacob Paul. And their opponents, can you please welcome, representing Belgium, Elisa Mertens and Cesar Burgess.
Smiling now, will they still be smiling at the end of this mixed doubles? Laura Robson for the very first time. Happy New Year, haven't seen you until today. Congrats on the work over in Perth. What are you expecting here? Who's going to come out on top? Don't hedge your bets.
Gosh, if only I knew. I think this one is a total toss-up, very much 50-50. And with good reason. Bencic and Paul have been the surprise duo over in Perth. They were so aggressive, playing well. Bencic definitely leading the team in terms of tactics, making a lot of returns in play. And over down the other end of the net, how blessed Team Belgium are to have Elisa Mertens as part of this duo. She is so accomplished on the doubles court, so consistent, so at ease in these tight situations. I guess for me, what does Cesar Bergs have left in the tank? He must be so dehydrated. We could see him in the tunnel before coming out here, absolutely downing fluids.
Yeah, a coin toss in terms of who potentially is going to win this as we get ready for the actual coin toss.
Okay, just a couple of reminders, 2 photos after the coin toss, please. One with Oscar and then one just the 4 of you. We have the towel runners in these 2 corners, you know about that. Remember, if you want to have a video review, it can still happen after the point. For a hindrance though, you have to stop the rally, you have to stop the point. Any questions? No? Your choice. We have heads or tails?
Yes, please.
Okay, Oscar, go. It is tails. Receive? Okay, perfect. And the photo, please, with Oscar. Yep.
It's going to be fascinating to see just who the CEOs on either team are going to be in this one, with the maximum pressure on, of course, as Laura's rightly said. Mertens arguably the most distinguished in terms of titles out there, 23 career doubles titles, a 5-time major champion in doubles, one with Aryna Sabalenka at the US Open in 2019, 2021 at the Australian Open, as one with Shea Suwei also at Wimbledon and the Australian Open, and of course last year at Wimbledon picked up a title for us another time with Veronika Kudermetova. So she certainly has the pedigree to be the difference maker out here, Laura.
She does, certainly in ladies doubles. We don't necessarily have a lot of info on Mertens playing mixed, which could play a factor. We know that Bencic is going to make a lot of serve and returns. That's going to be her bread and butter, and really playing more of a singles game on the doubles court. She has been fairly active when she's been pushed forward, but really she's been allowing Jakob Paul to dictate the net. But they've just had a lot of fun on the court. I think that's been the biggest key. In the last match against Argentina, Jakob Paul got a little bit tight trying to close it out. He lost his serve late on in the match and it looked like it was smooth sailing. All of a sudden things got a tad more complicated, but they pulled it out in the end. And when he's on, he's been really on. Big serve, big shots, and then looking to play that kind of traditional men's doubles and really be active at the net.
There is Elisa Mertens, of course a former world #1 in doubles. We've gone through her list. She's also won 10 career singles titles. She's looked super impressive. She also has the luxury of having a little bit of time off after that opening match with Bencic that went to a deciding set to get herself ready.
And mentally, she was so strong in that match, even though she lost it. She was so committed to the routines in between the points. I think that's going to be a huge change for her this season if she can keep that up. And that's, for me, why she's always been better on the doubles court than the singles court, is because she's had that partnership and someone to bring her out of the negative mood. I would imagine Zizou Bergs would need to do that today because they'll be fired up.
Loves getting to the net.
2 minutes.
Stan Wawrinka, team captain, player extraordinaire, is on the headsets as well. There is nothing you can't do. Stan, just firstly, thank you for another memory. I know this is your last dance down here in Australia and throughout the course of 2026, but I just sat rooted to the television watching you there. How did it feel out there? How hot was it? And how are you feeling right now?
I'm a bit tired. You know, I'm sorry, I cannot talk too loud. I've been a bit sick, and I'm pushing myself on the court. So it's been a tough day, but really proud of what Belinda did this morning. It was impressive, amazing to watch, amazing to support. So let's see what they can do now in mixed doubles.
Stan, if there's an MVP award for captaincy, I think you won it, because you were at Belinda's match till the very last moment. You're already back on the bench. How much energy do you have left to give in this one?
No, I think I stayed because I think it was important. I think she asked me to be there. I think it was important to support her the maximum, to stay there for her, and she delivered again on the match. So I'm proud of what she did. I fight on my match was a tough one, but Zizou is a tough player to play. He was playing better and he deserved the win.
13 seconds.
And Stan, I don't know how much you knew of Jakob Poul, but he's been playing superbly last year in 2025, and he's played a big part in your success to get through to the semis, hasn't he?
Yeah, no, but they've been playing amazing together for sure. Jakob is a good player. I think Belinda did the right thing to guide him on those matches, and he's been playing amazing tennis. They played against some great teams, so it's going to be interesting now.
Stan, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to send some throat lozenges down for you as well.
Stay hydrated down there.
Okay,
Good luck.
thank you.
What a player. A Hall of Fame career. He is surely going to get voted in. He has been spectacular at his best. I would argue there was no one better.
He's still sweating.
I'm not surprised.
Fair play to him.
It's
roasting.
It is as hot as I've ever known. It is like playing tennis in a sauna. The earth seemingly rising into the sun as Team Belgium trying to rise from being in deficit. And there is the tail of the Mercury, which of course is a big part of today. 43 degrees. Of course, the actual heat index is taken into consideration with lots of different things.
Yeah.
The humidity being at 17% has been a big difference maker. Otherwise, things could have got even more tricky for the players and the tournament. But as it is, we are set for this finish. Should be special.
Present, Jakob Poul representing Team Switzerland. Play.
Zizou nips one off the top of the tape. Promising start. 26 years of age, picked up 4 challenger doubles titles last year. In fact, 3 of them with David Pell, who went through to make the final of Wimbledon doubles.
And it's really important that he keeps his first serve percentage high, Paul, because you know that Bergs is likely to try and open up the line early on. They don't play an I formation, the Swiss team, so it's that traditional format. And Bencic, very solid at the net. I wouldn't say the fastest reflexes, and purely because she just doesn't play a lot of doubles these days.
Paul's bailed them out there, a bit of a miscommunication.
30-15.
He's got the ice towel on. I think that might stay there for the entire match.
It's a great move.
Yeah, that's the sort of play that they need. And if Paul throws in that kick serve against Mertens, you know she's playing it above the shoulder. It just gives you that much more time to make that first move at the net.
Who had good success when this competition was the Hopman Cup with Federer. They won it in 2018 and 19. Of course, mix was a big component of that competition.
Decent partner, that.
That's what he said. Strong start for Team Switzerland. Another component of our commentary team for this one will be Andrea Petkovic, sitting courtside. How's it feeling?
It's toasty. I have a fan, and I mean that in a very literal way. Right in front of me, I have a automatic fan that is directed at me, so I'm doing well. And you mentioned that win of Switzerland at the Hopman Cup. They also had great opponents because one of them was me, so they didn't have so much work to do. I think this ask today is a little bit tougher than it was back then.
See, I'm feeling a bit hard done by because there was no fan when I was courtside earlier for 3 hours.
Well, I've been here for a week, Laura, in Sydney.
I know the right
my
people.
Yes.
Bencic and Paul winning their first mix against France, then did a great job against Italy, against Arani and Vavasori, getting the win, and then Kale and Adrozzi was the quarter-final victory that they needed to pick up, and they did that against Argentina, undefeated. So Mertens lost to Juan Zhang. In fact, went down to China, lost that particular rubber 2-1. Bergs going down to Zhang Zhuzhen in a three-setter, but has bounced back very nicely in singles. Drifts long as we get a little look at the one fan that Andrea Petkovic has ever had.
It's the most important fan I can have.
Appreciate this is a pretty big ask for Bergs coming off that win against Wawrinka. It has to be said that they've kind of used this week a little bit, him and Jan David, his coach, as a bit of a training week on top of everything else. So there has been days where he's been out there and practiced again. So this won't be entirely unusual for him.
So many of the guys get on the practice court for 3.5 hours these days as they prepare for the best-of-5 situation. It used to be the case where you might do 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening. So many people are figuring out better ways to sort of maximize their time spent on court rather than just going through the motions. And for the guys, that is just one long session. It's a slog.
That is sharp.
59.
A couple of challenger single semi-finals last year for Paul. But it is in doubles where he's excelled. Spent the off-season traversing around Basel, Roger Federer's hometown. I guess some of the magic has rubbed off on him.
Well, it's so hard when your singles ranking and your doubles ranking start to move in opposite directions, and you've got to make a choice. Which one do you go for? And if you're top 100 already in the doubles, you're thinking, oh, I can make main draws of bigger tournaments. And then the singles does fall by the wayside, but with good reason. Can't get away with that, Bencic. If she's going to roll the second serve in, it needs to be placed to perfection. That one, trying to get the slice coming through into the body, but Bergs moving around that with ease.
Good smart serve, not just because it was into the body, but it was deep into the box and just didn't give Mertens any real chance to swivel out of the way. Great doubles.
So sharp at the net, Mertens. She's always looking for the next ball as well.
That's class.
Deciding point.
Can't repeat the trick, and Team Switzerland survived the first threat on serve. 2-1. Bencic and Wawrinka just having a little chat as we take you back east. You can see from today just how hot it is. The largest harbour in the world, and that bridge spanning it as the Opera House looks on. A simply beautiful, picturesque city. No better day to be here. We're under that roof, and that has been welcome relief for a lot of the fans and to some degree the players.
Yeah, sharing this is on the practice course that's needed. We saw Taylor Fritz warming up on one of the outside courts about an hour ago. I thought it was strange that he didn't go on the shaded court. It was so hot out there. But I shared a car this morning with the WTA supervisor who mentioned that under the roof yesterday it was about 3 or 4 degrees cooler than out in the sunshine. So it does make a bit of a difference. You just wish that there was a bit more breeze coming through the stadium. And this is the game where I think Belgium will find it tougher because Bergs is less active than Paul is at the net. So we see Team Switzerland, when Bencic is serving, play the I formation so that they can get the try and get the first volley, but it's just not as natural for Bergs.
So good from Paul, so good. And that's a real confidence booster.
I love the lob in mixed.
And that backhand of Paul's goes through the court so narrowly, and it's remained so flat. It's difficult to not have to lift it for the volley player to wait up at the net on the other side.
Paul currently ranked 81 in doubles, but Basel in the tour event there, him and Marc-André Hussler had 4 set points against Tobias and Grenoz, who are the reigning French and US Open doubles champion. So he is within touching distance of some of the best, and we're seeing it already in these opening 4 games. And there is further evidence. Don't get asked to go and practice with Roger Federer back in 2019 if you're not somebody that's A, going to work hard, and B, hits a good tennis ball, and that is special.
He's committed to it so early on there. No matter where Bergs was moving, it didn't matter to him. He was going to go line all day.
Cannot put a foot wrong.
Seeing it like a watermelon right now.
And I cannot put into words how narrowly this ball goes over the net. It's virtually impossible to get a good look on volley there.
Expansive with his array of shots from the ad side, but he's moved the ball around with super variety on his serve. It's not the quickest serve, but he's tucked up Bergs. And that's a bit of frustration being let out by Mertens. They're being overwhelmed at the moment by Team Switzerland. 4-1. I'm just answering Jakob, but he needs something. I don't think he needs anything. I don't think he needs to think, because he is hitting the ball subconsciously at the moment. Belinda, of course, whenever she puts on the red and white of Switzerland colours, turns into Superwoman. That is her cape, because Olympic gold, something that Stan obviously has, but in doubles she picked that up in singles in Tokyo. And you kind of forget in amongst that she picked up the Olympic silver in doubles. Victoria Golubic was her partner on that particular occasion, nearly joined that very select few of Venus Williams, Serena Williams, and of course, who's here, Nicholas Massou, with Hubi Hurkacz, who'll be up later tonight, winning double gold at Olympics. Alongside those couple of titles at Hopman Cup, won the Billie Jean King Cup.
In the change event, Sander Gillet just leaned over to Zizou Bergs and was talking to him in a very focused manner. He is the more regular doubles player on tour, so I wonder whether he gave him a few position tips, because Laura has pointed out doesn't come as natural to Zizou.
May not entirely understand kind of that side of things, but he does transition well to the net in singles, and you can see there how he's got lovely flow after that initial volley. One of the better movers up at net on the singles court.
Game, Team Belgium. Team Switzerland leads by 4-2.
Straightforward hold.
Laura, she's got a fairly sort of predictable pattern at times. Bencic, when she serves, is sort of a slider, isn't it? Can be a little quicker. She'll off pace. Is there anything for the returners that they can kind of preempt?
Fired up. I think Bencic knew that those first couple were coming straight towards her. I think especially on the juice side, Bencic on the serve will find it hard to go tee because it has the natural slice, but also because her position starts further out wide when they play the traditional formation. She could open it up with more of a tee if they were going I. Like she can here. I think she's got more options when they do this, but I always kind of liked when someone played an I formation to me because it gave me a target.
Love 13.
It's like when we saw from Paul in the previous changeover on his return. You see your opponent's going I, and before they've even hit the serve, you're like, okay, I'm going line. No matter what happens, I'm going line. So I'm always hesitant, especially in mix, to do too much I.
Is he standing there in that kind of position? Is he trying to get the ball from Bergs to come at him? Is he's trying to leave a bit of space down the line?
Yeah, almost. It looks like it. He's so close to the net that he's covering about 2/3 of the court there anyway.
Andrea, you made a great point about how flat the ball is, and it's actually quite difficult, isn't it, for Belgium, because once Belinda's hit it, Paul can kind of move, and you've actually got to hit it fast from a very low position.
Yeah, and it's for the same for Bencic and Paul. I didn't think it was possible to play flatter than Bencic, and here we have Paul, who manages to somehow thread the needle.
She saw Mertens make the move.
30-14.
Held it. Oh, it would have been the perfect shot. Now, all of a sudden, 2 break points to get back on serve. That's a great backhand volley. Half overhead, but he's made that look very simple. It's hard to get that much pace coming off the ball from where he hit that from. Interesting, Andrea, that Bergs went back there as well.
Very interesting, yeah. They seem to feel like Mertens up at the net and Bergs at the back is the way to go for them. We saw that with the German team as well, with Siegemund and Zverev.
Mertens can't believe she's missed a couple on that backhand side long, and the opportunity slides by for Belgium to get back on serve.
couple of gimmies now on that backhand return. She just wants it so badly.
And interestingly, Laura, remember the last 2 games of that singles, a few of Elise Mertens' shots were going really long. She clearly hasn't made the adjustment on the string tension that Bencic did at that very casual point of match, 5-6, 30 all, 2 points from defeat.
We saw Mertens send a racket off.
Yeah.
Clearly hasn't found its way back yet.
But I will say that one thing Zizou Bergs has improved tremendously since that mixed doubles against Team China. He is now not overpacing on their forehand as much as he did against Team China. And that mixed doubles, he really tried to out-hit both players and was missing so many forehands. We don't see that much from him anymore.
Keep doing new things. Every choice you make, they are the right one.
Time.
It's got to feel pretty good if you're Jakob Pohl, having a 3-time major winner and Olympic gold medalist, saying that every decision you're making out there is the right one. Last couple of days of the United Cup for this year, and it is going to be a thrilling conclusion.
Overall, you don't mind that sort of mistake in mix because it just keeps the net player honest. It just has them second guessing, oh, should I move early on?
Great counter from Mertens.
Last presser. Last presser.
Such a good off backhand return, Bencic, from the Jew side. It just makes it that much harder to decide where to serve to her. And she has hooked that one cross court magnificently. Bergs just a little bit late getting there. Bit of lactic acid perhaps in the legs after his win over Wawrinka.
Which would be more than fair.
Set point.
starting point.
No matter whatever fatigue Stan's feeling, he is out of his chair.
His quads must be burning every time he stands up.
Still set point and game point. He reacted well, couldn't find the finishing shot, and somehow Team Belgium survive.
Probably the hardest shot that Paul could have chosen there. Tried to go fast from below the net. He wanted it back cross court at the feet of Bergs.
Again, it's not the most powerful, but it is precise.
They're just playing the patterns really well, Team Switzerland.
It's an expensive illusion if you feel as though you can pick up quick winners against Paul and Bencic in mixed doubles. That's what it's looked like from Bergs on his two returning points. Set point number 3. What isn't an illusion is the reality that Team Switzerland are one set away from the final of the United Cup. And the fact is, Laura, that, as you said, was just a good solid set of tennis. I mean, Paul was good at that one little juncture, but for the rest of it, they just hit their spots with their serve, put themselves in the right position on the court. Belgium are going to have to respond.
Yeah, they didn't overplay at all. And they didn't panic when Berg started to unleash on a few of those forehands. They just kept sticking to what got them the early break in the first place. And you look at a percentage like that off the second serve for Bencic and Paul is so impressive. 83% second serve points won against two great returners. So they're just forcing Belgium to overplay at times, especially there'll be a few backhand returns that Mertens will want another look at.
Backhand was in mint condition in the opening sort of 4 games. The only one he really missed was on the set point. But he rectified that particular wrong in the next service game. Stan at the moment sounds like he could do with a visit from the Red Cross, not the White Cross, but he is continuing to use his vocal cords as best he can. He is heading off for a minute.
What's left of them?
Yeah. Andrea, if you were sitting down in Team Belgium's box there at their teammate, what would you have said to them here at the start of this second set?
Well, I think Laura pointed it out well already. I think it seems that Team Switzerland is getting points quite easily due to their positioning and the patterns, whereas with Team Belgium it seems like they have to work so hard to get those points, and in tennis, we know it's not the points that get on the highlight reel that get you a match. It's oftentimes the easy ones, the cheap ones. And Team Belgium needs to figure out a way to get those with certain kind of patterns and positionings that help them get the quicker ones as well.
Mertens obviously convinced herself that that ball was going down the line because she just did not read it at all, and she almost had to duck to get out of the way of it.
And those were the forehands we saw against Team China, where he wants to do so much with, he wants to do so much with them that he overcooks them. And he dialed it down in the last few matches, but today it's kind of back here in that mixed double.
Such an efficient stroke. Uses pace well, maybe can't generate it as much as he would like, but certainly in off the bounce there, he just leans in with his right shoulder.
Great choice to have him play on the ad side all week.
Just nudged it long. Just put it in a little closer to the body there, Bergs, and they get out of trouble in their opening service game at the start here of the second set.
And I do think we can't forget that these two players here from Team Belgium have a combined lactic acid in their muscles, whereas on the other side, at least one person is fresh. Although the emotional support Paul has put into the last two matches might as well had a strain, but it just can increase your reaction time. And maybe now they will feel a little freer and maybe the muscles will start to flow again.
Day to refuel those water bottles consistently. That's the nice thing about all of the venues throughout the course of the Australian Summer of Tennis, that they have the free refills. The fans and the Americans, of course, will be up again as they look to try and defend their United Cup title. They've won this particular competition a couple of times, and they take on the powerhouse that's Team Poland in the second of the day's semi-finals. Oh.
That's delicious.
And he acted like a bit of a shield for the ball there, didn't he, Bergs? Pretty sure that Bencic couldn't see that ball behind his back as it came over. Look at this.
Yeah, Bencic a bit frustrated after those last 2 volleys, where she wants it so badly that she's hitting them quite big, and that just means it bounces up that much more. So giving her opponents more time than she initially anticipated on. It's quite a few times now that Mertens has been caught on the kick serve where she's trying to take it on the rise and it's flying off the racket. You almost feel, especially on pull serve, that she could take a step back, let it drop, because Bencic isn't super active. Gosh, I love the live mixed doubles. It gets so tense so quickly.
Been making serene progress throughout this match until perhaps now. And I just wonder whether Mertens, because a couple of those backhands have somewhat surprisingly flown long, just went a little slow with the racket speed and it dies into the net. How big does Bergs go off this return? Does he play it safe? He's got options now. Too much pace. Couple of missed volleys really in the, or opportunities I should say, from Bencic early in the game, and that's proved to be costly.
Well, he's got away with it, but it was like a darts board with a bullseye on it. You knew exactly where he was going with this forehand. And Bencic, she was ready for it, but just a bit too big of a swing, let it fly off a racket. Just a tiny nudge needed. I do love his reactions.
Yeah, it's really, his energy has gone up, not by 10%, but like 100% energy up. He also made a nice little pirouette when he broke, 180 degrees.
Stunning.
Good form, too.
And look how much more active Bergs is in the middle of the rally there. He's all over the court. And so Paul feels like he's got to overcook it on the backhand cross.
Bencic can't believe it's been called in.
Touch. 40-15.
I mean, how he even thought that that was a shot worth crossing on just shows where his head's at right now. He wants to be everywhere.
Again, impressive pace above the shoulders there from Paul, backpedaling. That's another one that's gone long. And Team Belgium secure a 3-love lead in this second set. It's been a swift turnaround.
Let's go. Super, guys. Gaat die andere met tennis in de big moments. Allee, ik wil zeggen, geef die big moments maar aan ons, weet je.
Done a nice job of tracking that. Paul at times looks a little more comfortable using pace, Laura, than he does actually generating it. Especially
off the forehand, a few times now that it is just flown off his racket. But again, but both guys have had almost the same issue at times where they want such a big forehand and they're trying to hit winners. It doesn't have to be a winner.
Not entirely sure what others have done today around Sydney for entertainment. This would have been the best value ticket. We got underway at 10 a.m. local time, and over 7 hours later we are still going in the first of the day's semi-finals here at the United Cup.
Time.
Final set breaker decided the opening women's singles between Bencic and Mertens, a classic between those two, and then a 3-setter that Bergs managed to claim. And it looks like in these initial stages of the second set that we will be heading towards a match tiebreaker in this mixed doubles. Bencic looking to try and lodge their first game on the board in this second set. His movement, I love his technique, and he's always going to meet the ball. He never really ever lets the ball play him, Bergs, when he's up at the net. That was old school classic style, still works. Out.
15-30.
This could get away from them very quickly. Switzerland. Just looks like they're rushing through some of these points. It's a good play from both teams, and we haven't seen it used since early on in the first set, the lob. With two guys playing so close to the net, so active. Slow things down, throw one up there.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to the delay, because of the tiebreaker and best serve for both.
Yeah, you serve too hard, Willie. 152, baby.
Well, there was a little bit of fun we had because Belinda said, I served 152 on that, and that's when your string breaks. Come on.
Mertens finds the space.
40.
Just one of the best to redirect a ball off the +1 down the flanks on both sides, and Mertens read it well.
And she just held firm.
Deciding point.
Fair to say that Bergs' movement here wasn't exactly Swiss precision. He went so early.
It's a great return.
Game, Team Belgium. Team Belgium leads by 4 games to none.
I just really like the dynamic between these two. Mertens has clearly been working on, you know, the routines in between the point, the deep breaths and closing her eyes and staying focused, and then Bergs is there doing the complete opposite, trying to get her beyond fired up.
Laura, I think he's 2 points away from attempting the Bryan Brothers stomach
the chest bump. Yeah.
Which would probably knock loose Mertens out of the stadium if he did attempt it.
Well, they've been excellent throughout the course of this set. Just not really giving any opportunities to their opponents. 80% of their first serves have found the target. They've won 10 out of 12 when they've landed. And it feels a long time ago that they had a deciding point, Team Switzerland, at the start of this set to break and continue the momentum.
Yeah, how quickly it changes in the mixed. I mean, we joke that it's a bit of a lottery, but it's true because it goes so fast. This could be a 6-love set, but it doesn't feel like it. And just a few points ago, Bencic went up to the chair umpire and had a word. I think she's called the trainer because there's been an awful lot of stretching over the last half hour.
Well, once again, Mertens absolutely perfect at net, as have Team Belgium been in this second set. 5 straight games.
Ready, Lisa.
Played an awful lot of tennis today, Bencic. On top of that, she's played an absolute marathon match and then tried to get back to the bench as quickly as possible. It's not exactly your normal post-match routine.
Yeah, and the supervisor here, we have her just walk past me and had a few words with Team Belgium. I couldn't quite hear, but there seems to be no trainer out for now.
And I can see the trainer running onto the court for what we think is for Belinda Bencic.
She has been holding her left arm, like her left bicep a little bit. I don't know whether there's something else.
And then a bit of stretching like under the ribs almost as well.
And we can't forget that, Laura, you were in Perth. She has played every single tie that she was eligible to play. And she has won every single tie that she was eligible to play.
Singles and doubles.
Traveled from Perth to Sydney into the blistering heat. That's a lot on a body.
No treatment.
Yeah, exactly.
All done and dusted, wrapped up. Maybe just some anti-inflammatories or something like that. That was the doctor on the court. Thought it was a good sign when Ian Hughes started laughing, because if it's anything serious, you're telling your coach off if he's laughing in that kind of moment.
Time.
And Joe, what's the smart play here? Is it to invest anything in this set?
I come from a women's tennis background where we never have best of 5, and I think you always invest everything, just because I feel every investment, if they hold and then break here, that tension for Mertens and Bergs to have to serve it out after getting a little bit of stress will carry on into that match tie break in the end. So I'm always all for investing.
Love it in.
Yeah, Bencic doesn't want to miss too many more of those, otherwise she's going to erode her own confidence at the net.
Yeah, you want to have a bit of momentum going into the breaker. On this ad side, especially with Paul's backhand staying so flat, it's really hard for Bergs to cross off that shot. If he has to go early. So I think there's no need for Bencic to overcomplicate things there. It was much better though. Missed the overhead, but much more conviction on the volleys.
It's almost harder when the ball's short with that flat backhand. You don't have as much court to work with, as much length for the ball to travel. Have to even skip it even lower over the net if that's possible for Paul. Couple of set points for Belgium.
Game and second set, Team Belgium.
6 of the best. And it will be a match tiebreaker to decide who goes through to this year's United Cup final from the first of the day's semi-finals.
Ladies and gentlemen, after the set break, a 10-point match tiebreak will be played to decide the match.
Well, it looked like Paul was trying to change tensions as well at the end of that set. I don't think Bergs is changing anything. I think he's just going 50% harder.
Well, the decisive moment was that backhand miss, and that just gave Mertens and Bergs that lift that they were looking for. Him and the captain will be thrilled at how they've been able to turn it around, and that first serve percentage jumped up considerably.
Yeah, considerably from Team Belgium, but also dropped significantly for Team Switzerland. In that first set, they were so high on that second serve, points won, and you just see they're under pressure almost every time they step up to the line there. And it just forced them to overplay. Tiebreak, let's go!
Yeah, Mertens and Bergs lost their first one against Zhu and Zhang 10-6 in the match tiebreak, and then won the next one against Mbukul and Harper 10-5. Bencic and Paul have played a couple. They've won both of those, 10-2 against France and 10-7 against Italy.
Wait, please, wait, please. Good now. Team Belgium.
These 2 points for Paul on his own serve are very important. Just settle into the breaker.
Tell a little bit about that point from how Paul's feeling. That was one of his quickest serves, second fastest of the match so far, and then he hustled in after the backhand, not something that we've really seen from him, and that may well play a part. The buzzer, if it gets hit, there is a 60-second timeout. Can be hit at any time apart from between first and second serves.
2-1 Team Belgium.
I'm already tense. It's only 2-1.
Doesn't get any better than that.
2-all. It was good stuff from Mertens. She threw in a couple of high balls, slowed the pace down. Bergs just went a smidge too early. And especially with how flat that pull backhand is. No mistakes there.
That was good tennis from Belgium there, trying to make Bencic hit her least favourite forehand, which was the cross-court one, but reload and another opportunity here for Bencic.
It's a play we see a lot from Mertens in ladies doubles, where she just moonballs that forehand
3-2
up over the net player. But maybe just forgetting that that goes into Bencic's favourite shot.
And the pace has dropped off significantly in this last point. Everyone, the tension you feel up there.
Oh, it's so tight.
Yeah, you can feel it threefold down here.
Great effort from Bergs, but a nice stab from Paul.
4-2, Team Switzerland.
And you go back to 2-love and the kind of routine forehand that Bergs had, that he just dropped in it, and that's the exhale point that you need at times when things have been going against you.
It was a complete momentum shift.
Still time in these longer versions of tiebreakers for there to be another shift in momentum as well, and they'll be wary, Switzerland, as they walk down this end. Couple of points to the advantage. They need to keep the run going.
Team Switzerland.
Circumspect with his serving in terms of the pace. That one though, dead on 200k, so a little quicker into the weaker side of Paul, gets the desired result, back at 4 apiece.
Fantastic move from Paul. Read it early, and because he's so close to the net there, it doesn't feel like he can't cover the line ball as well.
Wawrinka evergreen.
8-4, Team Switzerland.
The perfect dart at the perfect time. You love to see it, don't you? He may be unheralded, but he has made a name for himself at this year's United Cup, Jakob Paul.
Oh, here's a timeout.
And there was absolutely no chance that that red buzzer wasn't going to get hit by one of the teams in this final set tiebreak.
No surprise to see Team Belgium hit the button considering the scoreline, and it was just getting away from them so fast there.
Dat was ik het net zo. Maar positie, hij probeert uit de ruimte te geraken. Hij wil zich ook even staan. Ja. Dan zorg dat je dicht genoeg blijft. Ja, oké. Let's go!
Personally, would genuinely love to see that in professional tennis rather than changeovers. Give your coaches 2 timeouts a set. So strategic, and it can really shift the momentum, but it just adds to the occasion. Overwhelming Team Belgium now, Switzerland.
8-4, Team Switzerland.
In between the points and on that timeout as well, we could just see Stan continuously telling them to keep moving forward, to keep pressure on. And some more conviction on the Bencic volleys in this tiebreak.
There's been heat in the air all day and electricity. Tense atmosphere throughout the first almost 8 hours of play today. And Switzerland are on the brink of making the final of the United Cup.
9-4, Team Switzerland.
And Bencic blindsides Belgium with her brilliance. And can she put the finishing touches on it here? 5 match points.
Not yet.
9-5, Team Switzerland.
Switzerland punched their ticket into the final of the United Cup for the very first time. What a moment. Belinda Bencic has achieved so much in her career, but what a day for Jakob Paul. He has been in many ways as important as everybody else, even though Bencic 8-0 as they go through to the final in terms of match wins. They have won every pivotal mixed doubles. That was huge.
Huge, and how well they played in that breaker from love to. Bencic has been my MVP of the week, but Jakob Paul really held his own today. The mistakes that we saw when they played Argentina just weren't there. He knuckled down, served really well when it mattered, returned really well, and then was just active enough that it allowed Bencic to play freely from the back of the court. But I mean, it is a real toss-up when you get to the match breaker, because you just don't know which way it's going to go. Serving first ball, so important. Belgium threw everything at them. But they've given a lot today, and they deserve to be in the final.
I love what it means to play for your country. I mean, there are some elite athletes in there. Stan, of course, has done it all, including winning the Davis Cup. There's his coach, Magnus Norman, also somebody that has been around, and they are still over the moon, ecstatic with the success of that team. And what an environment in there. Ian Hughes as well, the coach, personal coach of Belinda Bencic. But look at Stan Wawrinka. That is the look of a man that has unconditional love for something that he has chosen to do throughout the course of his career.
Huge reaction from the bench. They've been through it today. Took them a while to get to that match point to make the final, but they're going to make the most of it.
What a start to the season for Bencic and for Jakob Paul as well. He has been
deliriously happy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not been easy down in the challenges and futures, but he has come to the forefront. And that is it. And Andrea Petkovic has the pleasure of interviewing the winners.
Wow, wow, wow. Team Switzerland, what a performance. Blistering heat. Team Belgium on the other side. Belinda, what made the difference in this very, very tight match in the end?
I think Kubi made a difference. He's so brave. It's unbelievable. You know, I tell him to go and he actually goes. Like, it's crazy.
Who does that?
Who does that?
Kubi, this was an amazing performance, and you supported Belinda for 2 hours 40. Then you supported Stan for 2 hours 30. To then come out in a decisive double and put on that performance, where do you get that energy from?
It's easy to find the energy with this team. It's just great to play with Belinda. I mean, just heads off to her to play almost 3 hours and then come out again for the doubles. And yeah, also great job from Stan to keep Sisu as long as possible on the court.
Well, Belinda, Kubi said it, you played every single match for Team Switzerland that you were allowed to play. You won every single one. But what I've noticed, Team Switzerland is incredible. They are up on their feet every time. What's the secret to your team spirit in Team Switzerland?
Yeah, I think it's crazy. I think, first of all, it goes with the captain. I mean, he's supporting all the match for me, and then he's playing his own match. I think that's also crazy. And then he's back for our doubles. So I think it starts with him, and it's with all the bench. You know, just so much energy and such a spirit to win. And it's going good. So we're just super happy to be in the final.
Last question before I let you recover. Say a few words about Stan, because the poor guy, he needed an ice towel more than you in the doubles. He was still sweating. He lost his voice. How has he had that energy to support you throughout this entire Perth and Sydney now?
I think he's just doing an amazing job to give us the energy. So we try to give him back as much as possible. But it's just a role model for him to play 3 hours and then be here for the first point of the doubles. That's just amazing.
It's amazing what you guys put on into the final. Team Switzerland, give it up, everybody.
Yeah, that's a tough walk down the corridor, or I should say up the corridor. It has been a good tournament for Bergs in the end. It was a tough start against Young, but he's continued to show the promise that came to the fore in 2025. But that is the moment that will be etched into everybody's minds as Team Switzerland and the bench welcome back the victorious duo. Laura.
Just a phenomenal day of tennis, and you have to feel for Zizou Bergs' legs as he's walking up that incline back to the locker room. But the camaraderie, the teamwork, the spirit of Team Switzerland has been non-stop throughout this week. And I think they said it so well. Stan leading the charge as team captain, lifting them all up, giving such valuable advice in that doubles as well. That first serve was key for both teams, really, but Bencic and Paul just finding a few more free points off that shot in the tie-break when it really, really mattered. That second serve, points won. Started so high, dropped. They got it back up to 62%. And a handful of unforced errors extra on Team Belgium's side, but really so little in a match like that.
Yeah, just the 1 point separating them. It was a big one, though. But, yeah, it's tough. You end up winning one more point, but you don't get the right point. But it is certainly the right way for Switzerland, who take the first step today into the final. And that is the first final for them here at the United Cup. USA, Poland have already got a rich heritage in this particular tournament. There's been some heartbreak for Poland, of course, in the last couple of years. 2024 Hurkacz with a couple of championship points against Zverev in his singles match. They couldn't pick up the silverware, couldn't do it last year. The USA were too strong. Will they be too strong tonight, Laura? Or another one that's going to be on the knife edge?
I think this is another one that could go down to the doubles.
Hurkacz Fritz. Once again, they are no strangers to each other. Hurkacz has made an incredible return to the tour after a couple of knee surgeries. But, well, that was the man of the moment in the mix. Stan, the man, has directed and captained and cajoled his team through to the final of the United Cup.